Good afternoon, friends. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live on our Patreon channel, and I wanted to just share with you guys something. Surveillance. We think it's all so innocent, but is it really? I was with Deborah Tavares, those of you that have watched this video on this, and I wanted to look at this a little bit more with you. We were discussing all types of things that are happening around the world right now. And I'm going to play a little clip here where Deborah talks about the flock camera system being deployed all across the United States. Listen to what Deborah had to say on this. I better make sure that we have our desktop. Yeah, we do have the desktop audio up and running. So let's see here. We'll go back over here and listen in just for a moment. 40,000 cameras have been deployed across the entire United States.
Yes. Now, I want to go over the details of that, and we need to understand what is happening. And then I'm going to go over that other picture I sent you with the fire. You see the fire?
Yes.
So I'll go over that in a minute. But I want to go over this deployment, this surveillance system. So what it can be mounted. It's a kit. And different aspects of the surveillance can be mounted on it at different times. But the kinds of things that can be mounted when it's fully deployed, as people start getting used to looking at the camera 24/7, 365. In fact, Steve, if you would right now, please, I want you to show everybody what it looks like in real time. If you go on to YouTube, are you able to do that now?
Yes, I'm already there. Go ahead.
Okay, type in Green Valley Road flooding, and you will see an opportunity to click on live stream.
Green Valley Road. Even got a turkey coming into the camera. Flooding. I see it. I see the live. You're right. It's live.
Okay. I want to tell you, when I found out that that had been activated, I didn't really understand the enormity of who could look at that. And I contacted a friend of mine in Kentucky, and my husband and I drove through that, and I waved, and they took a screenshot of me waving. So I want to point out some safety factors. First of all, because it does retina scanning, license plate reading, and anyone in the entire world can look at these cameras as they're deployed. They will know when you're not home or when you're returning. This is part of what we will now be able to track and monitor. But the systems are being deployed, as you noted, across the globe. They're run by AI. They can be hacked. They will be hacked. This is all wireless. These are cameras. These are horns. These are radar. These are IP devices and radio and 5G. Think of it, 5G. Now, there will be capabilities of remote health monitoring. Remote health monitoring. They talk about illuminators, various distances and angles. They talk about strobe lights. Now, we know that the blue lights from a remote use of colors and frequencies, because we know colors can be used for good, and colors can be, as an energy, can be used for bad. When we look at the blue lasers, there's an example. But let's talk about the strobe light, blue light on this system will cause remote strokes and heart attacks.
Oh, wow.
They have amplified speakers, and they will be able to create a geo fence. It's pre-crime also. That's what flock surveillance is saying, and that's what the Institute for Justice is saying, that this is an assault on privacy. Hello, we're being...
Exactly, it is an assault on privacy, and there are a number of different departments that are deploying this. As of right now, 40,000 cameras have been deployed across the United States in this move thus far. And Fox News, they were talking about this just recently in an article that they did on it. Some of the police departments will not say that where they're deploying the cameras. Some will. But 40,000 across the United States. Now, as I talked to Deborah about this, one of the big concerns that I had is because public can get access to some of these cameras as well. If you decided to track someone that, especially a stalker or something, wanted to track and see when that person is alone, that becomes a real possibility as well. Not to mention all the other horrifying things that Deborah mentioned. Let's listen to Fox News here.
Location secret.
Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson asked 20 police departments for maps of their flock safety cameras. Brian joins us live now in studio with what he found.
Yeah, Ben and Steph, Flock Safety says one of the hallmarks of its surveillance technology is transparency. After all, the license plate reading cameras are stationed along public roads and paid for with public money. So what is there to hide? Well, that depends who you ask. Can you answer a couple of questions? When it comes to one of America's most popular new crime-fighting tools,
I already told you what I had to tell you.
some police departments
This is the end of this interview. Thank you, sir.
are more open than others.
Those cameras are not capturing anything that the naked eye wouldn't see walking down the street.
Over the past 6 years, Flock Safety has deployed more than 40,000 license plate reading cameras in more than 3,000 cities throughout the United States.
As you just saw, 40,000 cameras, 3,000 cities. Now that's just the beginning. Give it time, it'll be 1 million cameras. Notice too what Deborah said. They're able to enhance the audio. They can pick up sound from far away. They can even tell within 90 feet where a bullet or a gun has been fired. You know, and there's all kinds, 5G, you name it, geofencing, as Deborah talked about. This really becomes a major concern for public safety. And then you couple that in with they want you to partner with their community to enhance safety. But here's the problem. If you enhance safety and everybody begins to be part of this network of cameras that is going live, become public in some cases there, like this camera right here, right now, it is live as you are looking at it. And we've been seeing, because I guess it's early morning in California, 3 hours earlier, yes, so it's probably right around 9 o'clock in the morning there. And as I had this camera on just a moment ago, you could see the cars coming back and forth. Had a couple of turkeys cross the road right there. I got a little vineyard right there, and I guess it is prone to flooding, and that's their excuse for putting that one there. But what about your neighborhoods? What about all the different places that they do place these cameras? You know, Green Valley Road flooding conditions live stream so that you can see it for yourself before you leave the house. Well, what if they're monitoring your wife? What if some pervert that has access to these cameras is watching when your wife leaves home, or watching when you leave home and she's all alone? You know, this could go a couple of different ways there, and that is where it becomes alarming. Let me play this clip here for you as well. That was on Flock's creepy surveillance system coming to a city near you.
These cameras are different from a red light camera or speed camera, which are triggered by a specific violation. They watch every car that drives by.
Can actually create a traceable path of the car moving through the city as long as it's being picked up by the flock cameras.
Correct. And it would be difficult to drive anywhere of any distance without running into a camera somewhere.
I don't like being tracked every day. I don't like when I drive by the intersection here at Ward's Corner, then being able to tell which way I'm going. There's 4 cameras there. When I researched the cameras, I did learn about them using artificial intelligence. That when you drive by them, it's not just a snapshot of your license plate number. It reads the demographics of your vehicle. It's a brown car, it's got fender damage, and then it can build a profile of where you've been, and that tracking ability is quite nerve-wracking.
Once it uploads driver's information to the cloud, Flock uses AI to create a fingerprint police can use to track the same vehicle as it moves through the city. Flock
5,000 plus communities made safer, and of course, as you watch this video here, Flock's creepy surveillance system coming to a city near you, there's good and bad. Okay, let's just face it, good and bad. But my concern, of course, is the bad. The more that those cameras are made live, the greater chance, the greater opportunity that we're going to become targets of the criminals as well. And then, of course, as Deborah said, the AI profiles you, and that can be a very bad thing, especially from what I have seen myself. Using AI from time to time in research, if you're not very careful and do cross-researching to make sure, I've actually had it to where in one case, it gave me a direct quote of an ancient document, and then I could not find that anywhere. And when I went back and challenged the AI about that, the AI said, well, it's a compilation of looking at all the information that's in that document. I came up with this thought. So you got to be careful about things like that. And then think about it in cameras. If they're using that to figure out your movements and your profile and your quote-unquote fingerprint, what if it decides you are an enemy? It becomes a really troubling thought there. Laura Hart sent this to me right here. I thought it was kind of fascinating. It's a video, a television capture there, actually, of when I was speaking on back when we had discovered through an Israeli military IDF commander, and he was telling us one night that the ISIS militants had been seen wearing tzitzit. Well, that was kind of fascinating because Arabic television picked up that article. But what was more important for me is I'd forgot that I had actually found a corroborating document for that. Listen here for just a moment.
Military former Israeli military that shared with us in a private interview inside of Israel that yes, indeed, many of the leaders of ISIS were known to have been wearing tzitzit, knowing that they were actually Israelis working.
The thing is, though, I do quote from breaking news here, and they had gone into detail. And it kind of reminds me, going back to the time of when Aaron Erdem, this is what kind of was the beginning of me coming out of Zionism. Aaron Erdem, the parliament member for the Turkish government, had uncovered the sarin gas that was being smuggled from Libya under then Hillary Clinton, her husband, of course, but Hillary was the one that was involved in that, with Erdogan smuggling in sarin gas that would be later used that would kill many children and women inside of Syria, and then blamed on Bashar al-Assad. And this was no different than that there. With that being said, too, something else I would like to share with you guys that a lot of times we don't even think about. I've shared with you about Isaiah 17. Damascus would become a ruinous heap. It has over the last couple of decades through these constant wars there, but also that the house of Ephraim, if you recall, the house of Ephraim, the Syrian Christians, they would lose that fortress that they had from the very fact that Bashar al-Assad was taken out of power. And that persecution has amplified. But what I wanted to really get you to see as you look at some of these images here, because a lot of people, they don't really think about what the scripture says. The scripture says that Ephraim, that the fortress for Ephraim would end. It would cease to be. Ephraim is another term used for the house of Israel, is Ephraim. Okay, here, for example, you have this image right here. So what are you looking at? These are not just Arabs that convert to Christianity. These are the children of the house of Israel. And many times people never even think about that. They don't think of the significance of this. That literally you are looking not just at Arabic people, you are looking at the house of Israel, mass numbers. So how could we ever support the death of Syrian Christians, knowing, especially if you're a true supporter of Israel, and then it makes you wonder, why would Israel be willing to kill their own people? That is something you have to think about. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live here on Patreon.